All right, let's dive right into something today that is, frankly, incredibly frustrating, but it's a financial reality pretty much all of us experience the second our paycheck goes up. Welcome to this explainer on the silent money trap. We're going to break down exactly why earning more money kind of rarely leads to the actual financial freedom we expect, and more importantly, how you can fix it. So let me ask you something directly. Have you ever noticed that the literal exact moment your income goes up, your expenses somehow magically rise right along with it? You get a salary hike and suddenly that takeout food tastes just a little bit better, your perfectly fine phone feels kind of ancient, and your whole lifestyle just starts feeling a bit outdated. Your spending quietly catches up to your new income. And the weirdest part? You don't even feel rich. Even after earning more, it just feels like your money is on a treadmill, running constantly, but never actually getting anywhere. Well, here's the uncomfortable truth we gotta confront right out of the gate. Most people are not broke because they don't earn enough. They're broke because every single time they make more, they upgrade their lifestyle instead of upgrading their wealth. It's this quiet, almost unnoticeable pattern, but man, is it deeply impactful. We actually have a formal name for this whole phenomenon. It's called lifestyle inflation. Simply put, it's the silent pattern where your expenses increase at the exact same rate as your income. This right here, this is honestly one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck financially for years or even decades. It's a totally invisible trap. Your income grows, sure, but the finish line for actually feeling secure just keeps moving further and further away. Let's think about what society promises us versus what actually happens. When we think about getting rich, we usually buy into this myth. If I just earn more, then I'll finally be free. We just assume more money automatically equals more happiness, ultimate comfort, the whole shebang. But reality hits different. In real life, earning more usually just leads to higher expenses. You end up stuck in the exact same paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. You're just doing it at a much higher, way more expensive level. Now, let's map out this dangerous trap of feeling better off while your savings account basically flatlines. Let's walk through a pretty typical timeline. Say you earn $30,000 a month. You live a simple life. Basic rent, basic food, maybe a little bit of savings. Then, boom, you get a promotion to $60,000. What changes? Well, you move to a slightly nicer apartment, you start ordering food more often, then you get another raise pushing you to $80,000. So, you upgrade your phone. Finally, you hit $100,000, and now you're going out constantly. On paper, you are earning more than ever. But in reality, your savings are still sitting at near zero. You're still living paycheck to paycheck. And the scariest part of this entire sequence is that it doesn't feel like a mistake at all. It feels exactly like progress. To really get why we do this, we have to step away from the mouth for a second and look at human psychology. Because honestly, our brains are simply not built for long-term wealth creation. They're hardwired for immediate comfort and immediate reward. When you see that bigger number hit your bank account, your brain doesn't naturally say, "Awesome, let's invest this for the next 20 years." No way. Your brain just exhales and goes, "Finally, we can relax a little." And unfortunately, relaxation usually comes in the form of spending money. Let's break that psychology down just a bit further. You see, every single upgrade you make feels completely justified in the moment. A better phone? That's a well-deserved reward for your hard work. A nicer car? That feels like a tangible symbol of your success. A bigger house? Feels like a massive life achievement. But here is the major catch. Every single one of these upgrades increases your baseline. Once this shiny, new, expensive lifestyle becomes your new normal, you are absolutely not going to want to go back. You get locked into those higher expenses, which is exactly why you hear people say, "I earn way more now, but I still don't save a dime." It is not a math problem, it is a psychology problem. And this brings us to a brilliant illustration of what happens over time. Let's call it the tale of two earners. Imagine person A and person B. Both start at the exact same income. Now, person A decides to keep their lifestyle relatively stable, even after getting raises. They don't downgrade their life, but they intentionally don't inflate it either. Every raise goes straight into savings and investments. Person B, on the other hand, upgrades the whole works. Better car, nicer clothes, fancier dinners, every single time their pay bumps up. Fast forward 10 years. Both of them earned the exact same total income over that decade. But person A, they've got investments, assets, and real financial security. Person B has a very comfortable lifestyle, but literally zero wealth. Same income, totally different outcomes. So the absolutely crucial point here is this simple, undeniable truth. Wealth is not created by how much money you earn. Wealth is created by the gap between what you earn and what you spend. I want you to literally picture that gap as a physical space. That gap is where your freedom lives. And lifestyle inflation is so incredibly dangerous precisely because it slowly, silently eats away at that gap without you ever even noticing. You know, lifestyle inflation actively tricks you into believing that upgrading your life is the exact same thing as improving it. But they are completely different animals. Improving your life means you're building security, creating freedom, and giving yourself options for the future. Upgrading your lifestyle, more often than not, just means you're piling on more monthly obligations. And let's be crystal clear about this. Obligations are the exact opposite of freedom. We also have to call out another major psychological hurdle here, the trap of social comparison. Often, you don't upgrade your life because you actually need to. You upgrade because someone else has something, and you see it. Your friend buys a brand new bike. A coworker moves into a massive new apartment. Social media is just constantly feeding you this curated luxury. So your brain starts making silent adjustments, whispering, well, hey, if they can afford it, maybe I should too. But remember, you're only seeing their highlight reel. You don't see their financial reality behind closed doors. A lot of the people you're comparing yourself to are trapped in the exact same paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. It feels normal, it feels justified, but it is quietly preventing true wealth from ever taking root. Okay, so how do we fix this? Let's move into breaking the cycle with 3 rules for wealth. The good news here is that you can absolutely break this cycle without, having to live like a monk. You just need to control the ratio. So let's walk through 3 super actionable steps together. Rule number 1, every time your income goes up, do not increase your expenses equally. Increase your savings before you increase your spending, even if it's a tiny amount, even if it feels painfully slow. Wealth isn't built by massive overnight moves. It's built by small, consistent gaps over time. Okay, rule number 2, delay upgrades. Not forever, just delay them. When you get a raise, hit pause and ask yourself, do I actually need this right now, or am I just reacting to the fact that I have more cash? Most of the time, the answer will really surprise you. And finally, rule number 3, separate your comfort from your identity. Just because you earn a higher salary definitely does not mean you're suddenly obligated to look richer to the outside world. I really want to drive home this vital mindset shift. Real wealth, it's actually incredibly boring and almost entirely invisible in the beginning. Looking rich and being rich are just not the same thing. True wealth sits quietly in investments, in savings accounts, and in assets. It does not sit in your lifestyle choices or the designer logo on your jacket. It doesn't demand a visual identity. If you can control your lifestyle inflation early on, you don't just earn money, you actually get to keep it. And keeping it is what changes absolutely everything. So the next time your income increases, whether it's a small bump or a massive promotion, don't immediately ask yourself what you can upgrade in your life. Instead, I want you to ask yourself this one incredibly powerful question. Am I getting richer, or am I just looking richer? Because as we've explored today throughout this explainer, one of these paths leads to true financial freedom. And the other? Well, it just leads right back into a beautifully decorated cycle you can never quite escape. Think about which path you're currently on. Until next time, keep learning, keep analyzing, and keep building that gap.